What's up, everyone? I hope you are all blessed and staying safe. So let's talk about tonight's episode, which is called Keep on Failing. And you might look at me and you're like, what are you talking about? But I promise you, if you keep on watching the video and by the end, you're gonna agree with me. So who here has failed at something? Guys, I can give you a whole list, maybe even write a book of how many things I have failed. But I want to change our perspective and our mentality of how we see our own failures. You know, when we fail, what do we tend to do? We don't want to think about that moment. Whatever we fail at, we give up at it. We don't want to try again. We try to erase that moment from our lives. We don't want to remind ourselves of it. But I'm going to tell you tonight something crazy. Keep on failing, and every single time you fail, I want you to write in a sticky note and put it right by your bedside. When you wake up in the morning, this is the thing, you might ask, what is the point? But when you do that, when you acknowledge your failures, is when you're going to be able to learn and grow from it. Did you hear me? We grow from our failures, guys. Every single person that you have seen that is successful, in the beginning, they have so many failures. We are human. We're going to mess up. We're going to have a lot of failures, I promise you. But it's normal. And it's something that what you decide to do with your failures is how you can grow your future. So when we fail at something, we don't want to do it anymore. We don't want to try doing it. And guys, forgive me if I sound bad, but that makes us a coward. And I'm asking you tonight, do you want to be a coward or do you want to be a conqueror? And you're like, what do you mean a conqueror? A conqueror of our failures. Do you want to get failure get the best of you, or do you want to use it to your advantage, guys? And every single time that you fail, you're going to be a step closer towards your calling and walking towards God. So tonight, I want us to build a tower of failure. So every single time you fail, stop using it as something negative. Stop trying to tear yourself down. Stop feeding yourself negative thoughts and use it as a building stone. So every single time you fail, you're going to be making yourself a tower. And as you fail, you're going to start growing and walking towards God. Now, a story that I saw on Instagram, it's about failure. You know, a daughter, she was at dinner every single day. Her dad would ask her siblings and her, tell me something you failed at today. She never understood the point. She was like, Dad, why would you want to remind me of a time that I failed? Like, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to even, reminisce about that. And, as years went on, he kept always asking, tell me something you failed at. And if she didn't give it that day, the next day he would tell me 2 things you failed at. And as she ended up growing up, her father continued doing it throughout the years. And when she became an adult, she ended up loving that idea. People asked her, why would you love it? And she told people, yes, my dad always asked me to tell me something I failed at. But they did something that others will not do. Many times you want to be in a comfortable spot. We don't want to try new things. But that family, those siblings, they kept on trying new things. They failed at something, they kept on going. They didn't let failure define them. Many times we let failure define our lives. So let that family be an example to us that failing is normal, but let's use it and keep on growing from it. Guys, I'm going to give you my own taste of failure. It's going to be dealing with school. I feel like all of us, we have our own difficulties with school. And mine was the reading test. That reading test got the best of me. You pretty much need that to graduate high school. And I kept failing it. The first time I took it, I was 3 points away. The second time I took it, I was 2 points away. The third time I took it, you would think I would pass it, I was 1 point away. And I was so angry. I was like, I just want to pass this test, get it out of my hair and be able to, work with other things, with my school year, not worry about it. And then one teacher told me, she was like, Rachel, you have the ability to pass this test and you can excel in your score. But she was like, you need to have the mentality you can do it. When you're falling asleep, find ways you can wake yourself up. And she was like, every time you have a question, double check it. Break down that question. Look at every single answer. Don't miss anything out. And every time that I was going in a test, I was like, oh, this is just another test I'm going to fail. And I was just like, oh, I'll take it next semester. But this time when I took this test, after the third one, I lost count how many times I tried. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to have this mentality that I'm going to pass. So I walked in the computer lab that day and I was like, I'm going to pass this test. It's going to be cake. So I ended up sitting down. I literally took the whole day and I read every single question. I broke down. I read it twice. I read the stories 3 times, every single one. And then summer comes and my counselor emails me and she's like, you passed. And not even did I went higher than the points, I even got a higher score than I didn't think I would have. But did I let failure define me? No. I let failure be a rush and push me to even do greater. That I was like, you know what? Even though I failed those many times, I'm going to keep on trying and I'm going to pass this test, guys. And just something crazy that I wanted to add. Didier Deras uploaded an episode on Tuesday, guys. You need to check it out. So powerful, so good. And it's literally what I'm talking about, failure. And I was like, man, we're in the same spirit, and God really wants to talk to his people and tell them, stop letting failure define you. And guys, I hoped you liked the message tonight, because it was on fire and God is speaking to you tonight. So always remember to please like the video and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And always remember, all things work for good. See you next Thursday.